beautiful. But they actually have the draft link up for game number 2. I just sent it to you there. We are going to be a little bit late here. The map is going to be Cursed Hollow, ladies and gentlemen. Resurgence going to have first pick, first ban. They ban the Kilthos, pick the Zagara. They also, on the other side, Toronto is the response ban. Jaina Thrall, THC, once again, with Thrall in their hands. Jaina is the synergy as well. Really like this draft, how it's going so far. Kilthos, not an option for Resurgence anymore after that first ban. I think they're going to go with Sonya Tassadar. That's their go-to comp right now. That's what they've done in this position every single game so far. They've won every single game that they've had it, but I don't know if with how well THC's shown that they can adapt, I don't know if it's going to be the safe play. Early Zeratul, that was it. They're afraid of the last game, that ban that came out in the mid phase right there. He just forced them to an early Zeratul pick, and that might come to bite them in the butt here later in the draft for Resurgence.
Oh man, I love the mind games in this draft. Like, this is a great study on drafting.
Absolutely. That last game, the draft phase from THC, they played the draft very, very well. That's why I said it was such a beautiful thing to like see. I wasn't kidding. That was one of the coolest draft moves I've seen in a very long time coming out from a competitive team. So really well done there on their part. We do see the Murden going to be locked in as well. As for the bans here, probably going to be targeted a little bit towards whatever healer / tank they want. Murden's going to be locked in, so I think you can expect Resurgence to be trying to ban the ETC solid counter engage. Again, Zeratul and Zagara together on the exact same team. I think they're going to be a little less effective than they were on Dragonshire, specifically because the ganks aren't as easy with the Zeratul, so his early game presence is a little weaker. Also, early game is very, very relevant on Cursed Hollow because it can kind of snowball the map in your favor with those early trips. The Rainer pickup, the ban, excuse me. I don't know how I feel about that, Josheb. I don't think it's a terrible ban. Obviously, he's a great hero. I don't know if it was what they should have looked to do. I feel like they almost kind of don't know where they want the rest of their comp to go, so they kind of left everything open.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's a very strange ban, especially unless THC is considering going like a double frontline comp. I've seen teams kind of panic and pick Raynor for their ban when you're going to see like 2 tanks picked in succession. Maybe that's what THC has in mind, particularly with that Zeratul. They want to make sure that they can protect their squishies as much as possible. But they're thinking pretty far ahead if that's the kind of ban they're looking for. It may end up helping them out. It may end up hurting them. It's really going to depend on which direction Resurgence takes their draft after THC makes their picks.
Yeah, I agree with you. So THC now sitting in the situation. They know Murden's up on the other end. The Uther ban coming out. I think you can expect ETC from them. I think the kind of Thrall ETC is more of a comfort thing for them. Not totally sure. Rhaegar, since Uther's banned out to ensure that the Thrall has a really big heal for him. Really well done there. Like I said, I wouldn't doubt an ETC pick here. At the same time, if they want ETC and they don't think Resurgence is going to play a double tank, they can wait it out now that the ban phase is passed out. So they might wait on that a little bit here. I don't know if they're going to go for a double frontline though. THC, they're trying to make an adjustment in their draft. I think the Zeratul's kind of set them off a little bit. What I personally would like to see from them is taking a comp that isn't totally dependent on winning the fight within the first 5 seconds, because Zeratul's Void Prism will be a pretty good soft counter to that kind of approach. I think they need a heavy sustained oriented damage. I think Falstad would be really awesome. Problem is Zeratul directly counters Falstad. That's something to keep in mind here. Other than that, with the Raynor band, now they can't take Raynor as that sustained damage either. And Zagara's picked up. That's the other third really great sustained damage. As a drafter right now, they have a hard time figuring out. I can see them actually picking ETC or their tank and just kind of waiting it out. There's the Dibbles. All right, so boom, Dibbles is going to be picked up. Do they go? What is THC's last pick? Because I think they're in a crunch here.
Based on what we've been talking about, needing that sustained damage. You know, having the front line with Thrall and Diablo, it wouldn't surprise me to see Avala here as their last pick for the sustain. Really interested to see who Resurgence picks up as their healer in their last damage here. I'm feeling like they have a pretty strong front line there with Muradin. Zeratul, of course, is going to be going in for the ganks. I was going to say Monk, and it looks like that's what they're showing. I'd be... As far as the last pick, I'm kind of at a loss here. Like you mentioned Kerrigan a little bit earlier. Are you willing to bring that bet back out?
No, not with Zeratul. I don't think
so.
It's not. But it's not a terrible choice. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they decided to go with kind of a face roll melee assassin comp. That would be a little bit risky. I think Falstad would be a nice pickup for them here. Sylvanas isn't a bad option either. I feel like they do need more Vala. Vala would be fine. I think they need more burst. They need a really big amount of damage. Zagara is really good for the sustained fight. Zeratul's good with the isolation and a little bit of poke. I feel like they need a hero who can burst with Jaina off the board. I like personally Vala next. I do not Kerrigan would provide burst, yes, but she'd risk positioning and everything else. Falstad also provides a little bit of burst. He's kind of this weird hybrid between sustain and burst, right? Where he has the stun, Vala being another option. There they go. They lock it in. I like that pick. THC now, I don't know what their pick is. I think it's Falstad or Sylvanas, but at the same time, it might be a double melee or a triple melee double tank, excuse me.
You know, if you were to pick up another melee, who would you go with here? Sonya?
ETC.
ETC. Okay, yeah, do the double tank. I could see that.
Oh, Sonya isn't a terrible idea, actually.
Yeah.
The only problem with it is that they have such good anti-melee comp. That's why I pull away from it, really. Gosh. I think the Rainer ban is really kind of biting them a little bit. I think they kind of wanted that a little bit. Tassadar being hovered here. That might have been Panic. Falstad, I don't know if that was randomed or just last pick selected. Either way, I don't think it's going to matter here. So Falstad is going to be the one that's selected. I like the... gosh, I don't know. I'm torn on this draft, honestly, here. How do you feel about it? Let's see. Let's just your opinion. You're going in this draft. Where do you fit?
You know, it's like you mentioned. Like I think Falstad 99% of the time is not a bad pick, but I'm not even playing, and I'm afraid of Equinox's Zeratul. Like you never know where the dude's gonna come from. He's already shown, you know, the pro level plays. I feel like we're gonna see Equinox on Zeratul being able to blink in and out, especially like in situations where you have like Falstad maybe trying to grab the curse or the tribute while the rest of his team is holding them off. That gives Zeratul the opportunity to blink in, get the one-on-one with Falstad, and get out. Falstad has the ability to fly all over the map, but I just feel like Zeratul is such a hard counter. But there weren't many things left for THC to pick up there for that last pick.
Yeah, no, and there was a drafting outplay or misplay, one of the two. Depending on how you view it. I agree. Like there weren't many options left, and Zeratul, and the confidence coming out from Equinox in that Zeratul play there is going to make this it made the draft a lot more difficult here for THC. Let's talk about some of the advantages, disadvantages. Laning phase, both have a solid solo laner. Nice, they got you on the team. They didn't want you to sub. Josheb, the player. Hello.
I thought this was my time to shine.
At the same time,
please.
I was born for this. Anyways, so let's talk about comp advantage. Early game, Diablo, Jaina, Thrall, everything. Falstad have a large amount of burst. Again, but keep in mind, kind of like we saw in the Infernal Shrines map, if they don't all in together, they're going to have a bad time. But their wave clear isn't nearly as relevant this game as it was last game, and they have a global. The one thing I'm most fearful for this game, terrifying thing for me, is the Falstad Zeratul. I feel like Falstad's going to be dead a lot more than I would like him to be this game, because just he's going to Vorpal Blade and just eat Falstad's soul alive. He has a very hard time dealing with him. It'll be interesting to see if he decides to go like a shield-oriented build to maybe try and keep up with that. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go into game number 3 here of Resurgence versus THC. They've been a pretty awesome set so far. And on the left-hand side, we do have, I believe, yes, it is going to be Resurgence. We have Shot for the 3rd game in a row. He's going to be on that Zagara. We have Daihu going to be on the Murden. Equinox is going to be on that Zeratul. Rixie, once again, going to be on the Karazim. And Killik will be on the Vala.
Over on the right side of the red trunks, we have THC with Charismatic on Diablo. We have Elohim on the support with Rhaegar, of course. We have Kawhi Rice on Falstad. We have Calabunga again on Thrall. I think we've seen him quite a bit on that. And then we have Amnesty on Jaina.
It's going to be really interesting to see what ultimates are taken by the Diablo this game and the Jaina. This is the 3rd time, I think, all day that we've seen this series, and I think we've never seen a repeated amount of ultimates from each one of those heroes. Typically, it's been a mixture of Welly. We've seen Earthquake. Every one of those heroes, we've actually seen both ultimates taken today, so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Meanwhile, it looks like they're stacking on mid, trying to look for a pick, playing safe here as they should. Resurgence understanding what's up. Watch for the rotations. Poor rotations will be punished by Zeratul whenever possible. As you see, he's defending Shot on top, expecting the opponents make an aggressive rotation here.
Oh, yeah, and that's given some great vision there. Shot, of course, already has the creep down. Since THC did go for the gank in mid, that did give Shot a lot of opportunity to place down some well-placed creep, and that does give him the opportunity. In fact, looks like Charismatic is going to be the one that, ends up getting destroyed here based on that vision that Zeratul was able to provide for them.
Yeah, but keep in mind, that was really well done on their part. Keep in mind, Kawhi Rice actually wins that bottom lane pretty hard if he plays properly and pushes. He can either siege up or he can just honestly straight up brawl the monk. As long as he's not taking full ease, he will actually beat that monk. So that's a kind of a mismatch there. If it's not babied a little bit, there might be a problem. But Zeratul overextending a little bit on the top lane, didn't catch that. I'm guessing he blinked in and
get that.
Did he blink in, get dogged, and then Blizzard?
He did indeed. You called that
Okay.
See, you don't even need to see it on the camera. You know exactly what's happening.
It's like I know how this game works once in a while or something. I mean, I might have played it a lot for a long time, but the bottom lane matchup is gonna, like I said, go in favor on Falstad, and if that left alone long enough, it might be a problem there.
Definitely. Up top, it seems like where all the picks and the action is. Shot doing a great job of playing conservatively, making sure that he doesn't come out too far. He knows that they seem to be on the prowl for him. Meanwhile, Diablo coming in here to this bush in mid. Looks like he's looking for a good target. He might be going on to Murden right here since Vol's out of the way. Great stun there to prevent the shadow charge.
Yeah, really well done there, and nobody looking to posture up for oh, there we go. Killick's rotating for the Giants, the 220 Giants casual camp. Oh, we see the reverse here. That's going to be a mirror here, ladies and gentlemen. One of these teams will have an advantage, and one of them will not here when the Shrine spawns the split pushing potential out of these Giants. Keep in mind, Falstad being a global hero, typically, that means the opponents would have an opportunity to not be worried about these Giants, but now the Tribute, perfect situation for Resurgence. They're pushing on the opposite side of the map, and guess what? THC does not have their global hero on top to actually defend against it. So really lucky there, RNG for Resurgence.
And I like the decision from the Zagara up top to just continue to push, really try and wreak havoc on that front gate up here while everyone else is distracted. Yeah, fantastic zoning.
They're completely dominating them in the zone here. They keep trying to force through this chokehold, and they're being very, very stubborn. Diablo Jaina just saying no, no, no. Thrall coming in. Jaina getting caught out of position, though, and that's all it took. Jaina's going to fall down there. Body Block's trying to come on to Calabunga there, but it looks like he will end up surviving here. Zagara, keep in mind, has been top the entire time. They just lost a hero, even though they were in a 4 versus 5 situation there. The cap coming out Vala with a decent delay there with the extended range at level 1, allowing her to do that safely here. But this is, again, a 4 versus 5, and they're coming out ahead here. Jaina now just going to spawn. Will they have enough time?
Yeah, you know, they do manage to get the pick there on Vala, who gets caught out a little bit too long. But the longer this goes on, the more damage Zagara is going to be able to wreak up there at the top. In fact, it looks like she's going to be able to get an entire fort out of this.
Yep. Nope, that was an entire fort on top lane because the tribute spawned on the bottom and they delayed long enough. Honestly, if Jaina didn't get picked in that situation as early as she did in that chokehold, that would not be the situation we look at all right now. But what they decided to do is, oh man, the easy aggression there from Kawhi Rice going to be turned by Equinox. The aggressive E ended up 100% confirming his death there. But what I was trying to express there is that if Jaina hadn't gotten caught a little bit in that chokehold there, it wouldn't have been such a bad situation because they should have been able to win that tribute because they have a man advantage, right? They also have a really strong early game comparative to their opponents. So her dying there led to essentially 25 seconds of free siege where they are in a 4 versus 4 free delay, giving such a big advantage for Resurgence. Smart decision making from Shot, knowing that that's the situation and that he can get away with that, giving his team a level and a half lead here.
Oh, look at this gank that's being set up right now on Kawhi Rice. Amazing job there from Zeratul staying on top of him. He is acting like a Vision Sentry. Like he's just picking great crossroads and just standing there waiting for the opportune time. It looks like Jaina's coming up to try and cut him off, but I would not recommend it, as Equinox and Daihu can put out a fair amount of damage with just the 2 of them.
And with the race to 10 being won so heavily, only 3 people in the lower half, what I was going to say is you might see an early boss here out of their composition, just because they do have such a high level lead here. Tribute's going to fall 1-1 now for Resurgence, but it won't be for a little bit here. Daihu trying to get the stun on mid, but this is 3 versus 2 here. Jaina. Oh my goodness, walking away with the skin of her teeth there. Barely going to be able to survive that. Falstad, I mean, if you're Kawhi Rice now with Vorpal Blade going to be on that Tassadar, you are not, excuse me, not Tassadar, Zeratul, you are constantly going to be like, is there a Zeratul here? Is there a Zeratul here? Is there a Zeratul here? And just terrified for your life. Resurgence is going to take the night camp, try and time that with the Merc objective. It will happen now. Look at Equinox getting set of their opponent, knowing what's happening and taking advantage of Jaina's rotation.
Up here at the top, it looks like Equinox is keeping vision on that Jaina. I thought for a second there he might try and take her, but he does not have vision on where Diablo went, so I do not think he was... I think he made the right decision by not trying to get the gank on her right there.
Absolutely, and if played properly, Jaina is actually one of the only heroes that can take advantage of him and actually kill him. Like that, if he plays this well, see the amount of damage and slow. She's really hard to kill on the Zeratul compared to, like, for instance, the Falstad. So he's just taking the safer play, not taking this target. They know they have level 10 here. Now you see him positioning extremely aggressive. 7-sided strike here with the synergy, with the ultimates that they have here. They're going to be taking this tribute and expect to see a boss or a hyper forced fight somewhere here. I like the 7-sided strike in this situation because it synergizes both with Void Prism and Maw. The Maw coming out on the bottom lane to try and start this fight here, Josheb.
Definitely, and it looks like everybody has rotated fantastic. Thrall's not even going to be able to regain control of his character before he goes down. Vala popping, the strafe, no need for it. Everybody else runs off. She quickly cancels it, and it looks like they're going to try and take this early boss.
Yeah, and this is going to be safe only because they have the level 10 advantage. Traditionally, I'd say it was going to be a little bit risky losing that Maw there as well, but they have really great zoning tools. Notice how he doesn't... This is Equinox making great play here. Equinox isn't even going to show on mid. He might stay for a little bit. He doesn't stay for the boss, knowing he doesn't need that DPS. He instantly provides sight for his team over the next boss to try and see whether or not he can Void Prism and actually steal this boss from his opponents, giving sight. They are translating, because the Knight's pushing on mid, that they are going to be looking to contest this. Monk has showed, hey, we're going to try and take this boss here.
Definitely. Equinox with a great VP there, catches Diablo. That singles out Jaina, and they're going to be able to take her down super quick.
And that was the synergy between 7-sided strike that I was talking about. Really well done there for his team. Keep in mind, if 7-sided strike and Void Prism are done at a wrong distance apart from one another, oh, and the boss doesn't every aggro there, that is going to be a double boss and a curse here. This is absolute worst case scenario here for THC. I would like to see a little delay on the cap here for the curse. Not going to happen. That's going to be totally all right. Just capitalizing, maximizing the value out of this curse, right? It would have been like only a 10-second advantage. Nothing crazy there. But that is the synergy I was talking about between 7-sided strike and Void Prism there. That's why I like the pickup from him. And now it's just, this is a very, very rough game for THC to come back from.
Definitely. And, you know, it looks like they're doing a great job of split pushing here, going through the wall, making sure that they can actually get the keep. Fantastic play here by Resurgence. I like the fact that they're not going to waste their time with that front wall. They're going to take as much of the main fort as they can. They're going to grab a keep here, and then they're going to back off. They're a little late in getting out, but I think they're going to be okay.
It's 4 versus 5 in this situation. They're dictating a fight right there. You see, they instantly turn on Diablo. Falstad's not with them yet. The Maw coming out. Beautiful combo there to get the response and the team fight there. But that was Diablo deciding to shadow charge in a 4 versus 5 situation. They're about to be another talent tier down here at 13. It's going to be hard. They need at least 2 to 3 more kills to have a chance at ending this game here. Yeah, they recognize that, and they're going to safely back out. Look to take out maybe mid keep wall, or actually the fort, because the curse is about to end here. And now we are in a situation where there is a level and a half lead going to be in favor of Resurgence. The tribute only sits 1 out of the 3 for THC, meaning that the talent tiers at 16 will come into play roughly by the time that THC is able to get a curse here. So it's going to be really smart team play while they get on the same XP, or at least talent tier advantage, is really what THC needs to do to try and come back in this game.
I really like, I've been harping on Equinox. I don't want to seem like a fanboy, but I really am enjoying like the play that he's giving here from the Zeratul. He's given a great demonstration of Zeratul is not only about ganks. Zeratul is about the vision that you can grant your team. It's about setting stuff up to make sure that you can capitalize. He has played absolutely fantastic. Kawhi, look, he doesn't know where he should go right now. Kawhi is so concerned. He is haunted by the ghost of Zeratul, and he is certainly looking to make sure that he can make passive plays. He does not want to be any kind of aggressive for fear of getting caught out.
No, especially now that Zeratul has ended up hitting 13 tier. Wormhole makes him allowed to be able to make a lot more plays here. With Equinox aggressive playstyle, you can definitely see him trying to capitalize on that. Blinking out, blinking in, getting poke wherever he can. You see him, he's rotating the bottom lane. He knows that the Falstad is a little bit isolated for the time being. And Quiet Rice trying to play safe, trying to figure out where he is. Will he see him in time? It all comes down to the E. Keep in mind, he has 2 blinks, Vorpal Blade as well.
Kawhi Rice is actually seeing his life flash before his eyes here as he's screaming for help. The VP, I feel like, may have been unnecessary.
He did it to confirm the kill, but it was all because he misplayed both of his blinks. So he ended up popping both of his blinks a little bit too early there and not gaining ground on his opponent right there. So we Void Prism to ensure that the kill went down. Yes, it was good, but what that means is now it's 90 seconds where actually Falsehead's going to spawn, the Tribute's going to spawn, and now there's actually a team fight chance where we can see THC come back because they're on the same talent tier, and Void Prism, one of the most powerful ultimates in the game, is not going to be up.
Yeah, the THC has done a great job of soaking, making sure that they can actually stay in this game. Certainly the team fights have gone the way of Equinox, and it looks like, oh, Jaina caught in the back here. She's forced to use Ice Block. There comes the Sunder. Thrall immediately going on to Muradin, not the squishiest target. The Maw goes out. It looks like Diablo is going to be forced to use his breath here, and this is just going to be a full-on retreat by Resurgence. Neither team able to pick anything up. Great use of the of the Ice Block there by Jaina. To ensure that she does not go down.
Yeah, and she ends up capping this tribute, and all that came down to the fact that they didn't really have Void's Prism as an influential ultimate for that team fight there, all in that one pick on Quiet Rice from a small misplay there. But Equinox showing that is merely a man at times on that Zeratul with that play down there. Coming out here, 16 tier advantage, like I said, is going to be hit by Resurgence far before when the curse comes into play, which here it is. The next tribute, the curse will come into play, and they will not have 16 tier while their opponents will. Disadvantage for them, yes, because they can't force a curse. Advantage for them, yes, because they have 2 tributes up. They might be able to wait it out, but Equinox with that positioning, nobody sees him.
Wow.
Oh my, he literally body blocked 2 of the heroes on his way out, and not a single person decided to pop a cooldown there. I think he may be getting away with a little bit more than he should with the kind of things like that. At least force a blink out of him, ladies and gentlemen. So now this is what I was talking about. They do have, with the 2 tributes advantage, they don't need to force anything, which is why they kind of got lucky here, but at the same time, they aren't be able to make a big play here. And boss being started now for Resurgence.
Definitely. Resurgence is still going to capitalize on the fact that they have 16-14 advantage. They're saying, okay, we may not be able to force a fight here. We may not be able to take full advantage, but we're certainly going to get this boss. And it wouldn't surprise me to see them not push with this and instead try and steal the boss up top. I have a feeling THC is going to be forced to defend down here at the bottom, as they do only have that 1 keep remaining.
Yeah, no,
on the bottom end.
They're most likely going to respond to that. Fawcett possibly going to get ganked on top. Oh, man, once again, we see Equinox haunt the soul of Quiet Rice. He sees him this time. He's going to dash. There's the blink. Everything's going to matter. Vorpal Blade coming into play.
Oh, no. He does decide to let him go. And okay. Falstad does get away. He is forced to blow Gust, but with the low 40-second cooldown, Falstad not sweating it.
Okay, his whole team is now giving up on the siege on bottom. The boss is still full health. They rotate top to check the boss. They expected, because Quiet Rice was pressured there by Equinox. Oh, man. They expected, because he was harassed, that they hadn't started the boss yet, giving up a lot of siege damage on this boss on the lower half of the map. Keep in mind, it didn't get away with too much, though. It's going to be okay that they can do that here. Now it's going to be 2 tributes to 2 here. 16 tier advantage is going to be in favor of Resurgence, and they're going to be looking to try and force this fight. If they rotate, yeah, they're not going to push with this. This boss cannot really end the game. It's only 13 minutes into the game. It's not going to do that much. What they're going to instead do is look to split push on mid lane. Smart play here. And now, really, finally, for the first time in a very long time this game, we're going to see THC be on the same spike of a talent tier with 16, where they have the potential to turn this game. The tempo swing is really going to come down to the next tribute or the fight taken here. Once they hit 16 tier advantage, Gus going to be down, though. If they do hit 16 here, I don't want them to force this fight. This is going to be risky. No Gus.
It does look like Charismatic was trying to force the fight there, but fortunately the person that he charges is Muradin. But Dwarf Toss is down. He is caught out here, forced to pop Avatar to survive, and it looks like he's going to go down anyway.
Wow. If that was a 5-man mob shot, it decided to move up there and take that fight. I think that was that kind of hesitation we were talking about with Resurgence, with their patience and their shot calling. It actually just kind of punished them a little bit there. They've had three ultimates down, all to kill a Muradin. 4 ultimates were burnt just to kill the Muradin. Can you imagine? 1 Void Prism, 1 Maw, anything to just not let Muradin absolutely get destroyed there, and that team fight would have turned around for them 100% there. So now, man advantage. This is the tempo swing here for THC. I don't think you'll see a VP. He's going to get some poke. There you go. Blink out. But his positioning might be a little bit too risky here, Josheb. This is the swing of the game here, Josheb. And it doesn't even look like they're going to contest it.
Yeah, this is going to be a big curse for THC. Playing on the back foot the entire game, living in constant fear of that Zeratul. Shivers down their spine every time they see a shimmer. But it looks like they are finally going to be able to push. And this could be disastrous for Resurgence. Great catch out there. Looks like the VP is on the Falstad. Looks like Zeratul is caught out here, gets the double suplex by Diablo, and they do manage to take him down. Fantastic heads-up play by THC in response to that Void Prison, and that's going to let them do a fair amount of pushing at the bottom.
No, this should be a keep here as long as they don't get massively mod. Keep in mind, Void Prism is out of the play right now for them, obviously being used, and he is going to be dead. This is going to be 1 keep. They need more kills to end the game right here, so it looks like they're going to probably rotate to another keep. Keep in mind, if this aggressive rotation means they have no escape in a safe lane. This is very overly confident. I would like to see punishment out of this from Resurgence. Maybe not. There they go. The gate's going to break. Now they're fine. Okay. That was very risky there for a second, but 7-sided strike coming out here.
Diablo pulling the radar move with his breath, but does catch 3 people in that maw. It looks like that was more of a defensive maw, as they aren't able to capitalize on that, and they are forced to walk away as they do have 2 people down at this point. That's another keep for THC.
Yeah, that was a huge tempo swing for THC. I just want to say right now, Charismatic is absolutely the only reason that they're in this game right now. Keep in mind, that was a really good job from Kalabunga to get onto the Zeratul there, and he wormholed back. But what really happened was Diablo, very smart, popping his W and using his double suplex to make sure Zeratul could never stealth, which allowed them to confirm that kill even though the Void Prism hit. All it took was Zeratul getting stealth, and I almost guarantee he would have been able to walk away from that situation. And that one pick, and then the minute Zagara goes out of position in a 4 vs 5, he says, I don't care, I'm going to dive you guys, and he takes and confirms one more kill for his team. So Charismatic playing like a legend right now for this tempo swing to come in favor of THC. He is the reason his team is making a comeback here. Keep in mind, now 20 advantage is going to be in favor of THC. They do have the advantage. They have 1 keep advantage as well, but bosses this late in the game, we are in Cursed Hollow. Those are really what matter. Those are what are able to end games. They're down 2 tributes, so expect a possible give up on a tribute, maybe take a boss, try and force the game that way. It's going to be really, decision making is going to decide everything, but bosses don't spawn. 25 seconds for the bottom lane and 55 for the top.
I'm extremely impressed with the play of Charismatic. There on that Zeratul, getting the double Zuplex, doing his best version of Zangief. Looked like fighting for the USSR once again. Charismatic being able to lock him down. Such good plays from him, such heads-up plays. You know, for Kawhi Rice to feel comfortable being aggressive, to really maximize his potential, he has to feel safe from that Zeratul. And seeing that Diablo play do so well and making sure Zeratul has to keep his distance, Kawhi Rice starting to get a little more confident.
Yeah, and THC making sure they understand they have 20 advantage, and they understand that bosses are all that matter. They're going to clear the creeps so they have the least amount of comfort over the bosses they possibly can. They see Zagara on bottom. Looked like they might go for that fight, but they got revealed by creep. They are going to back out, clear as much creep as they can. Kawhi Rice barely missing that, but there they go. Creep is cleared completely. Keep in mind, Giants are going to be slowly pushing with 2 catapults in the top lane, which could threaten for a boss. The longer this fight goes, the better it's going to be for Resurgence here on the left-hand side. This could be risky. They realize it, and they're going to back out. I like this call a lot. I feel like that was really risky for a second there, and they send Falstad back with the global smart decision making.
Definitely. You want to make sure that those catapults are not pushing. Earlier today, we saw some great distraction from some teams that were allowing catapults to push, and sending Kawhi Rice back to get that is going to do a fantastic job of providing them with a little more breathing room so they can actually contest this. He is going to stop and come to help, I guess, but he leaves catapults wailing away on the core along with some mercs.
Look at Zeratul is delaying. Look at, he's delaying and he's going to Void Prism. He's willing to sacrifice everything. They know that bosses are pretty much all that matter this late in the game. They don't want the curse. That was what I was talking about. Curse versus boss play here this late in the game. They ignore the curse. They're like, fine, you can have it. We don't need it. We're going to take a boss instead. Now, Zeratul on the upper half of the map, getting the delay as best he can. Now he's like, guess what? I'm going to try and Void. I'm going to try and make something happen. Meanwhile, at the base, if you see Giants and 1 catapult are now starting to siege up and everything. This is very high risk of the war. Nobody's able to reveal Equinox. He's going to Void Prism on top. 10 seconds, 5 seconds for his team to get in place. Is this going to be enough, Josheb?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, my goodness. The miss time on the Maw. I thought for sure she was going to be able to get that. She's way out. Thank goodness that she has the bolt. She's able to get away. And it looks like they have done everything that they can to... No, Zagara is still probably going to go down here. She does, in fact. And, you know, there's a huge team fight occurring here, but all the while, the core is getting wailed on down to 85%.
And guess who's on core? Zeratul.
Zeratul saying, I don't even need to take part in this team fight. I'm just going to wail on this core, and if you don't come back, I'm going to take the game single-handedly.
Jane is back. He's going to get the kill on him. That's going to be a 50% core here. Daihu, I don't know if he's going to have enough. Gus is going to be up in 8 seconds to defend. Keep in mind, look at the Giants on the other side of the base. If this survives, it might be enough. Daihu, though, nope, they're worried about the Giants. That's going to be GG. That core damage was just too much.
Wow, Resurgence pulling it off in a nail-biter of a game. Wow, that was an exciting...